I'm not with an insurance company, and I don't wear khakis, but my wife and I are wearing much smaller clothing sizes. That happened because we found an incredible program that has changed our lives. This is not make-believe. This is real. To get more information about this incredible program, just call us at 321-804-2310. That's 321-804-2310. Thank you, and my name is not Jake.
And this is Good News with Dick Baumbach on TNR Radio.
Well, hi there, Jeff. How are you?
I'm doing great. Considering that this is our first Good News at noon, I am really excited and very happy that you've decided to do it here on TNR, the Good News at noon hour.
Well, let me give you some history on it. Basically, it was 4 years ago that I came up with the idea that we have all of this negative news. Maybe there needs to be something positive. And I approached the owner of a local radio station, and he liked the idea. And we started doing it 4 years ago. And I just found out from some friends at NBC that they apparently liked the idea also, and a year and a half ago started adding one good news story in every nightly news.
So NBC is doing your stories. I mean, your idea on NBC.
Well, somebody has to. I mean, what can I tell you?
Well, we're doing it here at on Good News at noon right here on TNR.
That's right, and I just brought it over, and I really, because I'm such a part of TNR, I really see the good news being something that we can give the whole world.
So what do you see? When this is going to be on every day at noontime?
Yeah, and what we'll do is we'll have 4 stories, and it's to give people encouragement, to give people hope, and to say, hey, there are good things happening, because we both know that there are so many negative things that are constantly pumping up.
Well, I think the audience is really going to like it a lot, and hopefully we can get a big cheer from our studio audience. I don't know if we'll actually get them to participate, but I think they will, and. Let's start off with the first story. This was what? This was from back in 4 years ago?
4 years ago. These were the first stories I used.
This was the first story, huh?
First stories I used.
So the first story is about a retiring car dealer gives each of his employees $1,000 for each year of service to his company. Man, I wish I could do that.
Well, so do I. No, this happened in Ann Arbor, Michigan. The gentleman's name was Howard Cooper, and he was 83 years old, and he decided to sell the dealership. But before he did that, he brought all 89 of his employees in, and for every year of service they were with him, he gave them $1,000.
$1,000 for every year of service. That is incredible. Do you know, has anybody followed up with this guy?
Yes, and I checked, and he is now totally retired, but the new dealership, still a part of the deal was they had to retain all of the current employees, and all of those employees are still there. Now, I wonder if they're all looking for another boost.
Yeah, maybe now, after 4 years, maybe it's $4,000.
Right, yeah. But, I mean, in passing the story on, there were employees who were crying openly about the fact that Mr. Cooper would do this for every one of them.
Wow. Now, do you think that the guy that just did this, where I think he gave like what was it, $78,000 or something to each one of his employees. It was some development company. Do you think he may have gotten this idea from Mr. Cooper?
It's very possible. In fact, it's funny you said that, Jeff, because that was one of our good news stories about 6-7 months ago. The gentleman was with a credit processing company, and he literally stopped his $1 million salary to give every one of his employees $77,000 a year.
That's just amazing. That really is. And you know, they say a lot about it's not what you get, it's what you give. And I would love to be able to interview one of these people to find out what it meant to them.
Well, I think the one thing that with the most recent one, when it first was put out about the man giving each employee $77,000, what happened is the media said, "Oh, this is ridiculous. It's going to fall apart. His company's going to go nowhere." He has quadrupled his business.
Holy smokes! Quadrupled the business, and that's a perfect example of.
Right.
What you give out, you get back.
You get back.
Big time. So your next story was Boy 8 donates $1,000 prize to a little girl, 2, with leukemia. Oh, I just feel like crying when I hear that. I just got goosebumps all over the place.
Well, this little boy is Wyatt Erber, and he is single-minded, and what he did 4 years ago, he won a scavenger hunt, and he got $1,000. And then he looked at his mom, Noel, and said, "I'm going to help Kara." And she said, "What?" And this is in Edwardsville, Illinois. Illinois.
Wow. Is that that's a small town, ain't it?
Small town. Yeah. And she said, "What do you mean you're going to help Kara?" "Well, Kara's sick, and I've got to help her. And so I want her to have the money to take care of herself."
And this kid is 8 years old.
8 years old.
Oh, wow.
And then he also, when the media found out about it, they said to him, "You know, why did you do this?" He said, "Well, I won, but I want Kara to win too." And they said, "Well, Kara's only 2 and you're 8. "Yeah, but she's a nice person."
And that's all from an 8-year-old. They're so innocent at that age.
Yeah. I mean, it was like, come on, doesn't everybody do this?
Right. So has anybody followed up on this one?
No. I have no idea how that one's gone.
So he would be 12 and she would be 6. I wonder if they're, boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So the next one, did you have any more on that one? No.
Well, the thing is that when that happened and it got out, the neighbors in Edwardsville started a campaign for Kara. And because of him, there is hundreds of thousands of dollars have been raised for Kara, including a Kara bicycle fund.
Wow. I would really love to know if Kara is still with us here after those 4 years, if those campaigns made any difference in her life.
Well, one bit of good news, if you think about it, and it's on a personal level, 4 years ago, our grandson got leukemia, and he has now been cancer-free for over a year.
Wow. Now, did you have an 8-year-old that participated?
No, but we had a grandma and grandpa, Nana and Papa, who flew back and forth to see him.
The next story that you guys that you did back in 4 years ago was a story about an 18-year-old gives his $40,000 scholarship to other teens.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Now, you notice the theme so far.
Yeah, it's amazing. Everybody's giving.
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 But what you don't hear most of the time, you don't hear these good news stories.
No, you don't. If you watch any of the nightly news, whether it's the network newses or the cable newses, you don't hear positive stories like this. You just don't hear it.
And in this case here is Alan Gui. He's 18, and he was 18 at the time. He was a star basketball player at Compton High School in Los Angeles, and he won a three-throw contest, and the top prize was a $40,000 scholarship. And so he decided that he wanted to pass it on.
Unbelievable.
And so, he went to California State Northridge, and I know you're a big sports fan.
I am. I'm a very big sports fan.
And his name is Alan Guei. So he would now be 22.
22 years old,
and
yeah.
he might be in the NBA for all we know.
I would love to know where he is right now. I mean, how many people, just students and kids, go after, they want a scholarship, want a scholarship. This kid gets the scholarship and then gives it away. And he gave it away to 7 other students. Unbelievable.
And the thing is, if you think about it, I'm just thinking about basketball. I wonder if Mr. Jenkins at Villanova is going to give away anything.
I think he's going to be giving away. Yeah, he should be.
He did very well the other night.
That was some game, wasn't it? And it was brother against brother, and the other brother knew that was the way the game was going to end.
Right. And did you see them hugging each other?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, I'm getting all kind of but to know that you are going to be a part of something that your brother, either side, is going to be a part of, and then to know that your brother is the guy that does the shot and wins the game for his team, and you're like on the other team, and you want to be sad, but you're so happy for your brother. It's crazy.
I know, and it's so amazing that and the media, I think, the media covering it were so shocked. Including, did you see Charles Barkley?
Oh, yeah.
Jumping up and down.
Like jumping up and down. But you know what was really amazing is that the one brother actually called the play and knew who was going to take the shot and how it was going to end. I mean, he knew it. He told his brother before the game. It was like, this is the way it's going to happen.
I didn't realize. I never.
Yeah, they had it on last night. It was like,
wow.
The story just keeps on growing. But you know what? The coach, the Villanova coach, what kind of expression was that? Was it shock or what was that?
It was.
He was like, I can't believe this.
It was disbelief.
Wake me up. Is this a dream?
Well, I figured I'd be up all night watching the game in overtime.
Yeah, that was amazing. That was just amazing. So another one of the stories that you have is a prosthetic. What is this? Prosthetic helps golf prodigy drive ball 200 yards at the age of 10.
Right.
Okay. This wasn't the UCF story, was it?
No. This is Leo Miller, and he was born without fingers on his right hand. But he told his parents that he wanted to play golf. He just started saying he wanted to play golf. Well, as time went on, this is, by the way, this young man lives over in Britain in a seaside resort town, similar to what we have seaside resorts here. and so anyway, he told his parents, and he kept asking them, what he could do. And the parents thought about it, and they took him to a golf club, but they said, it's going to be kind of hard.
It's going to be difficult,
Difficult. Well, it got out in the newspaper what he was trying to do on the sports section over there, and doctors came forward and said, we'll give him a prosthetic, and he now hits the ball 200 yards.
That's unbelievable. I've got both hands, both arms, and I have a hard time getting the ball off the tee.
Me too. And it was the Dorset, and I like to give credit to who did it. Dorset Orthopedic is the one that fit him with the flexible sleeve so he could hold the golf thing. And from my understanding, he's still playing golf 4 years later.
Wow. I had mentioned right before we started on this story about the UCF story like this. And it's so that the audience knows it's about the UCF team, the robotics team that built the prosthetic hand for a young man and actually gave him it for free. And they built it for $300. Have you heard that story?
No.
Yes, it's amazing. Maybe you can do a story on it at one of your next Good News at noon hours because it's amazing what they did. They basically took parts off the shelf and built it. It was a class of, I think, four or five. I'm not really sure how many, but it was like a robotics team, and they built this thing, this arm, and the hand functions, and